This is the one we're going to focus on today because of what he used to do. Ghost has been in operation since 2018, and I've never shied away from talking about people in professions, my own included, people from this own agency, that Ghost has identified and arrested because of the position they have. And that's why we're going to talk about this guy. Morningstar was hired in 1997 by the Detroit Police Department, made it to the police academy, never worked the road there. He transferred from the Detroit Police Department up to Millington. And our records reflect that he worked in Millington for 6 years in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then from there, he worked part-time for the Cloud Police Department about a year and a half. That was right before he moved to Florida. And the Florida Police Department was Longboat Key, just again, south of Tampa, where he worked 12 years. In fact, not only did he work there, in 2014, he was sworn in as a sergeant. 10 years before we arrested him, this guy was a sergeant on a police department. Rarely do I identify the employers of these individuals that we arrest because it's not their fault. Trust me, I felt that personally when we had one of our own show up at an operation years ago. But we identify individuals that have this type of influence because they sometimes use, and many times predators use their positions of influence to target and dominate victims. This operation with Ghost in cooperation and in partnership with Chris Hansen, you may have heard we identified and arrested a police officer, but David Layton, the prosecutor, just authorized, and we were able to swear out on the 6th of August, count 1, child sexually abusive activity, count 2, using a computer to commit a crime, count 3, accosting a child for immoral purposes. Now, mind you, this is an operation. It's a sting. When Morningstar answered the call of our sting, he responded because a trafficker was selling a 15-year-old. A trafficker was selling her 15-year-old in the city of Burton. Prior to him coming to the location, he stopped at the Kroger on Bristol Road to review the conversation just to make sure that he heard right, that he read right, that she was actually 15. He wanted to pay the trafficker $125 to have sex and an extra $25 for the young victim to urinate on him. I know it's hard for families to hear that. But we've always been transparent in these investigations, not just to demean or humiliate. That's not my intention. But it's to send a message that predators are among us, and Ghost will be there to find them. Ghost is not just the sheriff's office. It's all the agencies that we work with, including the Burton Police Department, the State Police, the FBI, Secret Service, Homeland Security. Ghost is a sheriff operation that's inclusive to all agencies. We're so thankful for those that make it work every single day, for the chatters and the decoys. Our Ghost operators, if we didn't have the chatters and the decoys that we have, we would not find people like this guy. So here's my concern. He knocked on the door and Ghost answered. Has he done it to someone who wasn't Ghost? If during those time periods, if there's any interaction that you may have had that you feel victimized, that you've never been able to tell your story, please come forward. I will tell you that the warrant was just authorized. And Morningstar has yet to turn himself in or given him until 5 o'clock because we're out looking for him. And he needs to go either to this facility, the Genesee County Jail, walk in the main lobbies, turn himself in, or go to the courts. But you have until 5 o'clock. We're going to continue to find you. But after 5, we're going to send more assets. I say this because I have to use the platform of the media in order to send the message. But we can only do our part. You need to have conversations with your loved ones. People in authority, you need to watch to make sure that they're being held accountable, that people aren't putting themselves in positions over others, because sometimes they use that trust, they use that grooming tactic, even to adults, to open up the vulnerable door to young people. That's what happened in this scenario. He started communicating with what he thought was an adult who was selling a child. And then he came for that kid. I just want to say good work to the team as well. We will continue to persist. Ghost has now operated in nearly 70 counties in the state of Michigan, 9 states throughout the country. We continue to work with our Ghost partners and other sheriffs that have developed Ghost teams. We continue to send out that Ghost certification information for you. We have a story coming up where an individual took Ghost certification And as you've done that, you know that you get a certificate and a sticker, and you put that sticker, just like I'm wearing, somewhere where it's visible, because somebody may come to you, and the story you're going to hear is somebody who knocked on the glass of a car because she saw that ghost sticker and she asked for help. Wait to hear that story next week. And that's what we need you to do. Spread the message. Support Ghost. And we're going to continue to find people like this and to protect victims. Any questions from our media friends? 5, 25, 12.
What tipped you off to this guy?
Well, we didn't know. That's what a ghost operation does. The question is, what tipped us off? We do operations. They sit and they will chat hundreds of people a night and see who shows up. And he did.
What do you want, parents, what should they talk to their kids about? Say, if they're talking to a law enforcement officer or anybody and things aren't right.
Yeah. The question is, what about talking to kids and parents? This is even beyond the kid-parent relationship. These are teachers. We're just a couple weeks from going back to school, and you have people in youth groups, and you have, traveling that's going on. This is something that has no borders. There is a predator mindset that we've shared, even in our ghost certification, where they seek to find prey. Just be open. Share this story and let people know that they're out there and they look like normal people, so to speak. And I think that's the message, is just be aware and know what to look for.
And what do you want to say to victims, survivors, who may be afraid to step forward?
Well, you bring up a great point. There's a victim and there's a survivor. And I focus on the survivors, people that have gotten their story out and they've seen that someone's being held accountable. Those survivors. In fact, I'm wearing bracelets made by survivors through Ring True. These are made by survivors. This bracelet right here is one made specifically for ghosts, and they have to be elevated, male and female, young and old survivors. But they can't be a survivor unless they identify that they were a victim and maybe that story hasn't been told. You can come to us. We will give you your voice. That's what Ghost is. We give the voice to the voiceless.
You said he's hanging out, possibly in Burton still.
Could be.
Maybe I'm talking a little premature, but you said his last employment was in Florida, is that correct?
Yeah.
He transferred back up here?
Right. He was not an active police officer at the time of arrest. He did not have identification on him. He did not have a badge or a gun. So we know that he was no longer employed. I don't know from Longboat what they did to end his employment, but I know he's local, and we have Ghost members and patrol out looking for him. Thank you very much. Again, be safe, and if you need your voice heard, you come to us. We'll take care of you.